Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Megan. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I am getting ready to go to a dinner tonight. It's a Michelin star restaurant.
Mm.
So it's like a seven-course meal, and it's supposed to be spectacular by this like celebrity chef. So yeah, I'm sort of like midway getting through getting ready and stopping and pausing to come do this podcast with you and
Ooh,
have a little escape and
fun.
some fun. I know,
Seven
yeah.
courses. Yum.
I know, I know. Yeah. We do like fine foods. I don't know if I can eat that much, but we'll see. Hopefully they're like very small.
Just like one bite of each.
Course. Yeah, right, exactly. And my husband's pescatarian and I don't eat dairy, so we'll have to see if they can like make changes like that. I don't know if they can or not, but anyways, it's exciting. I've only been to one other Michelin star restaurant up in wine country. I think Barn Diva is the name of it.
Mm,
Have you been there?
no.
No, it's yeah. There's a few Michelin star restaurants up there. Oh, and Bouchon, I think. I'm not sure if they're Michelin star or not, but it was really good.
Well, we still owe
Anyways.
each other a date to the French Laundry. We've got to get that booked.
Oh, I know. We can try the first of every month at 10 a.m. if you're
Yes.
lucky enough to score something. Yeah, we got to try French Laundry. That'd be awesome.
I know.
Bouchon is by the same guy. So
Oh.
yeah, so he's got three restaurants there. It's Bouchon, French Laundry, and there's one other. Anyways, it was really good. It's like, very Frenchy and very good. We've eaten at the two restaurants, but not at French Laundry.
Oh.
So I
Well, we'll have to try to
know.
get in there. Well, you have a fun night ahead of you. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Date
Thanks.
night.
Get dressed up. Yeah. What's new with you?
Well, so I had a crazy thing happen. I a couple episodes ago I did a check-in that I discovered this amazing new to me clean mascara from Thrive Cosmetics.
Yeah.
And it is, I'm just loving it. I'm using it every day and it's really amazing. And I'm just so grateful to have found it. It's a great brand. I think I mentioned that I don't love the component, but I'm getting used to it now and I don't mind it. So I know that you're looking for a great mascara as well. And
I
the other
am.
day I was thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to get Megan one of these because she needs to try this. It's so great. And
Oh.
I didn't think that you had tried a mascara like this before, and I wanted you to have the experience. And I just thought, oh, I'm online shopping. I'm going to grab her one. Well, when I first purchased the mascara, I purchased it through an Instagram ad off of the Thrive Cosmetics website, and it came in a beautiful package. It came with a GWP, which is a gift with purchase. So it was a cute little rainbow bag.
Oh.
So when I was thinking to get you one, Amazon is so easy sometimes, right? We're just like on Amazon adding a bunch of things. And I was buying things and I just thought, oh, I'm just going to see if I can add it to my cart. It's so much easier just to grab from here really quick.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they had the mascara. It had 4,000 reviews and it was at 4 stars. So it looked legitimate. I added it to cart.
Oh.
It came the next day. And when it came, the box was different. And I thought, oh, this is weird. It's a different box. I wonder if it's like a version one and they sold me an old one. I opened it up and the component was different. It was just like this really light, kind of cheap material. The copy printed on the outside of the component, it was similar, but clearly different. I opened it up and the brush is different. And I just thought, this is strange. Well, at the time, I didn't have any makeup on. And I knew at that point it wasn't what I had. So I wasn't going to give it to you. And I was like,
Oh.
I'm going to
Yeah.
try it on and see what this is. Maybe it's a different one. And I accidentally ordered a different type of their mascara. So I put it on and immediately my eyes started burning. And it was just this like wet, black, watery stuff.
Oh
It was,
no, Sarah.
I know it was itchy and weird. So I washed my eyes. I was like, this is a counterfeit. I went
Yeah.
back onto Amazon. I clicked on the reviews. And if I had clicked on them before, I would have seen that there are quite a few reviews that said, this is not the right mascara. This is counterfeit. But they must be intermixing the correct one with the counterfeit, because there definitely are a lot of reviews that support the correct product. So it's junk. I'm going to return it and I will get you the correct one from
Oh.
from the Thrive Cosmetics website. But it was so concerning because I thought, if I was not in the beauty industry and if I
Mhm.
was not a previous customer, I would order this product, I would get it, and I would think that it doesn't work and it's not great, and I would badmouth this brand and I would never try it again. Also, this brand speaks to being great for people with sensitivities. It's totally clean. It's hypoallergenic. It's great for women that are going through chemo. And what I got off Amazon is definitely toxic. It's just
Wow.
crap. Um,
Oh, no.
it's just so dangerous and so disappointing. And honestly, it made me want to only shop for certain products on the actual brand's website. So,
Yes, I think
oh,
so. Oh my gosh. Well, number one, thanks for thinking of me and
you're
getting
welcome.
I've been wanting to buy that anyways. You're so sweet to get that for me. I'm sorry to hear about this counterfeit issue. I have had this experience with shampoo before where I
Mm.
have bought the shampoo from the salon
Mhm.
and then thought to myself, I don't have time to go to the salon today to buy more and I'm out, so I'll just buy it on Amazon. And I did, and it came and it was watery. And the same thing, I went to the reviews and it was like, this is counterfeit, this is not real, don't buy this. And I'm like, oh, what? But it was the same thing. There's so many
Yes.
reviews of it that made me think that it was right. But it wasn't the same formulation at all.
Ugh,
So
I know.
it's tricky and fraudulent. I'm sorry.
I know.
That's terrible.
It's such an issue. And I knew as soon as I opened it up that the brush was different, but I don't think for someone who's not in the industry, I don't think that would be as aware. Like I've spent hours looking at mascara head brushes and choosing them for products and helping to design them.
Oh,
So I don't think that someone who's not in the industry, I don't think they would notice this. And then they would just have this horrible experience. It's such a shame for the brand to have something like this happen. But
I know. I almost
uh,
wonder if we should just let them know
yeah, I
that
was
that
thinking I follow her on Instagram, and I was thinking I'm gonna shoot her a little message just for them to know. And then I'll
that's a
do
good
a
thing to do.
negative review on Amazon so they know and I'll return it. But such a bummer. And but I have been consistently using the correct mascara for about a week and a half now, and it's just phenomenal. So as a reminder, that's the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. Buy it off of their own website and you get a free little rainbow bag with it right now. And it is just really, really good mascara.
I have to also say your eyelashes have been looking much fuller and longer with
Oh,
this. I noticed a big difference,
you
and it was
did?
beautiful. I
Oh,
did, yeah, immediately. It's beautiful. I love it.
oh.
So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to
Yay.
try it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't ordered it yet. It'll come soon.
Oh,
Oh.
yay!
Well, with that, welcome everyone to Platinum Perspective, the podcast about beauty, travel, luxury, and more. I'm your co host, Sarah.
And I'm Megan. Sarah and I are best friends who put the work in to get the most out of life, so you don't have to.
Today, I am super excited because we are doing a travel episode. And at the request of some of our listeners, friends, and family members, we are going to be talking about Santa Barbara, California. So,
Yay!
yeah, I know this was a topic you were really interested in, Megan.
Yes, I want to understand how to do the beach correctly in California. So I can't wait to hear more. Um, yes, so I do have some rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Question one. Why would you choose Santa Barbara over just going to LA?
Okay, I think this is a great question, especially for from people who are not from California. So Los Angeles is a big draw for people outside of California, and I think it's a great place to visit once, or if you have business there, or if you're going with girlfriends. But as far as a luxury beach vacation, I love Santa Barbara because it is smaller. it is cleaner and everything's kind of in one area. Well, whereas LA is just really spread out, really big. Santa Barbara has better air quality. It's more of a
Mm,
it's more of a family friendly location.
okay. Good to know. Are Santa Barbara and Montecito the same thing or the same area?
Oh, okay. This is a great question as well. I know with the Meghan and Harry documentary coming out. They live in Montecito, which Oprah lives in Montecito as well. But it's referenced often that they live in Santa Barbara. And I've actually had like two people ask me this question. And so Montecito is right next to Santa Barbara. So at the east end of Santa Barbara, you can just walk straight into Montecito. So they're just right next to each other. So they're not the same, but if you're going to one, you might as well visit the other because they're right there next to each other.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Different vibes?
Different vibes. Yeah. Montecito is
Okay.
um, kind of like the Beverly Hills of Santa
Okay.
Barbara. Higher
Okay.
higher end. Personally, there's not as many things that I like to do there. It's just much smaller. There's only one tiny downtown strip with some very high end restaurants and shops. We like to stop in there for like an afternoon, but I wouldn't really stay there. We just go there for an afternoon. Santa Barbara has so much more to do, and it's bigger.
Okay. Good. Good to know. What are the top three reasons that you love Santa Barbara as a recurring family trip?
Oh, well, number one, the ocean. I just love, love, love the ocean in Santa Barbara. If I'm not going to be in Hawaii, which is my number
Hmm.
one favorite ocean spot, Santa Barbara is my second favorite ocean. And being from California, I have, spent a lot of time at oceans up and down the coast. And we're in Northern California now where the oceans are colder. So the Santa Barbara ocean is warmer, not like Hawaii, but warm for California. The beaches there are never crowded. They're very clean. Um, you said top three reasons. So also biking. My family and I love to bike in Santa Barbara. It's a bike
Hmm.
friendly town. And lastly, probably the food. My favorite restaurants in the world are in Santa Barbara. They just have amazing, fresh, clean. We're pescatarian in my family, so seafood based foods. Just really delicious.
Oh, that sounds good. The biking, is it appropriate for little kids too?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. We'll
that's
get
so
more. Yeah,
nice.
we'll get more into it. But the biking is a key reason that we love going there.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I love to be active and healthy on a vacation. Like when I go out and have a vacation when I'm not, it doesn't feel as I don't know, healthy, you know? Like I love
Yes.
to stay active when I'm on vacation. That's great.
Oh, us too.
Okay. Yeah. Before we dig in, do you just want to share how your love of Santa Barbara began and how it's evolved? I know you have so much experience here.
Oh, yes, of course. So, like I've shared, I was born and raised in California, but in Northern California, my family is a lot of my family's in Santa Cruz. So, I spent a lot of time in Santa Cruz, which is also a beach town in Northern California. So, when I was looking at colleges and applying to colleges, I went to UC Santa Barbara and it was just breathtaking. It
Mm.
blew me away. It was the only school I applied to. I put all my eggs in one basket. I said if I don't get into this college, I'm going to go to the junior college here because this is where I want to be. It is just breathtaking. So I got in. I went to UC Santa Barbara for undergrad
Okay.
and just completely fell in love with it. I moved back up to Northern California for graduate school. And at that time, I started dating my boyfriend, now husband, and he had family in LA. So we would go frequently. We would drive down to visit his family in LA, and we would always stop in Santa Barbara. And he had been there as a few times. He went to a different college, but he had been there. But it was so fun for me to bring him back to my college town, and we just had so much fun there. Actually, a really funny thing that happened to us. I must have been 22. Is we were driving. It's kind of embarrassing. Should I tell an embarrassing story?
Yes, yes, spill the beans.
We were driving down to LA to see his family, and we stopped in Santa Barbara. And prior to meeting him, I had not really stayed in like 4 or 5 star hotels or resorts. That just wasn't my family's vibe. So this was new to me. And he booked a really lovely, nice hotel in downtown Santa Barbara. And probably at that point, it was the nicest hotel I had ever stayed in. And so we organizing all of our things in the room, and then we left and we went out to eat, and then came back to the room. And when we came back to the room, so this is how long ago this was, it'll age me. I had left a Juicy Couture jacket. So it was like a big faux fur Juicy Couture jacket that I loved at that time. And I had left it on the bed. And I'm a particularly organized person, so I kind of know where I leave things. And when we got
Mhm.
back into the room, it was moved on the chair. And right away, I was like, oh my gosh, someone has been in our room. This is crazy. I started looking around, like, did they steal anything? I see my jacket has been moved to the chair. I was like, this is not okay. I proceeded to pick up the phone and call the front desk. And
Oh.
I said, somebody has been in our room. My jacket has been moved. I'm concerned with what's going on. You know, here's 22-year-old me in the nicest hotel I've ever stayed at. And, the concierge said, oh, ma'am, that was turn down service.
Oh. Oh my
But
goodness.
I didn't know what turn down service was. I had never experienced it before. And they said, we also left you a little chocolate on your pillow.
Oh.
I was like, they said, we can assure you nothing's been taken. They just moved the jacket to turn down the bed.
Oh my gosh.
I
Oh, that's so
know.
funny. What did Dave say?
Oh, I think he just thought it was cute and funny.
That's funny.
I know. We were
Oh.
so young. It was a long time ago. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that was an experience in Santa Barbara. That we've just continued to go back. I had my sister's bachelorette party there. I've done lots
Mm.
of weekends away there with my girlfriends before I was a mom. So now as a mom of two little girls, we've kind of made this our home away from home vacation spot. So we were going to Hawaii a lot, and we still love Hawaii. But during
Mm.
COVID, we halted on flying and going anywhere that was too
Yeah.
far. So we
Mhm.
really picked up going to Santa Barbara then, and it stuck. We go 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a year. It is our home away from home vacation spot for now. Maybe someday
Mhm.
we'll live there more long term. But yeah,
Aw.
ever since living there from college, I've gone back so many times every year. And I have to say, I think I've really perfected the trip.
Yay, that's so exciting. I know during the pandemic we really got into going to the beach as well. It's just like an easy thing you can do in California is get yourself to the beach. But many California beaches are chilly and windy,
Yeah.
so it's great to hear you've found one with warmer water, because my kids do love to go into the ocean. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely warmer than Northern California, but in comparing it to Hawaii, it doesn't compare, right? Nothing's like Hawaii ocean. um,
Yeah.
but it's the best I found in California.
Okay, good to know. I did do one trip there. I have to say, it was our baby moon before we had our first kid. And
Oh.
yeah, I really didn't know how to do Santa Barbara. So
Mhm.
I feel like I went there and just like threw darts at a board and sort of just randomly chose where we were going to stay. It wasn't on the beach, which was like a mistake. We stayed like in the middle of town.
Mm.
And walked quite a ways to get to the beach. And then when we were on the beach, it was very open. There wasn't a lot of people on the beach. And I wasn't sure if this was like what people do in Santa Barbara or not, but it was so different from a Florida beach that I just was like out of my element and just sort of like, well, let's just go out to dinner and, it's fine. But I didn't really know there was so much to do there, and it's such a vibrant place to go visit. So yeah, I'm very excited to learn more about this and do it the Sarah way next
Oh,
time. But I would
yeah.
love some recommendations.
Okay, well, that's what this episode's going to be all about today. So I think, like I mentioned, I've done lots of different types of Santa Barbara trips. We could do an episode on every type, but today we're going to talk about a family trip because that's where I'm at with my life. I have two little kids. My girls love going to Santa Barbara. I love bringing them there. I couldn't imagine going there without them. It's their favorite place in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. And there's two types of trips that we've perfected, my husband and I, with our little girls. And one is either a quick trip, so 1 week or less. And
Mhm.
then the other option is 1 week or more. So last year we went for a couple months. In the spring, we're getting ready to go for the summer for 2 weeks. So two different types of trips, and both are great. But each will have its own kind of agenda and accommodations.
Okay. Oh, good to hear. Yeah, I'd love to hear about both types of trips because we might want to do like a fast trip to begin with to get to know the area, but then figure out where to stay long term and do like a
Yeah.
longer trip. That's excellent. Before we get into those two types of trips, can you speak to exactly where Santa Barbara, California is located and how best to get there?
Yes, of course. So, as we mentioned, we're in the Bay Area. So, it's about Santa Barbara is in Southern California. We're in the Bay Area, which
Mhm.
is Northern California. It's about 5 hours from San Francisco. And if you're coming from Southern California, from Los Angeles specifically, Santa Barbara is about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles, depending on traffic, of course, because Los Angeles traffic can get pretty brutal. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah.
there's either the fly option, or depending on where you live, if you are in California, there's the drive option. We opt to drive it because it's about 5 hours from where we're from, and we bring our dog and we bring our bikes and our scooters and our skateboards. We like to
Mhm.
have all of those things with us, but flying is a great option as well. Santa Barbara does have its own little airport, so I know you can fly from the Bay Area straight into the Santa Barbara airport. There is
Oh, nice.
also, yeah, if you're flying from out of state, there's also the Burbank Airport, which is 75 miles away from Santa Barbara. And then there's also LAX, which is about the same, 75 miles from Santa Barbara. I personally try to avoid LAX at all costs. I can't stand
Mhm.
that airport.
It's
Burbank,
it's a beast. Yep.
it's a beast. That is the
Yep.
perfect word for it. Burbank is a far superior airport to me just because it's small, it's in and out. But of course, if you're coming from the Midwest or the East Coast, you might not have the Santa Barbara or the Burbank airport as an option. So then LAX would be the best option. And then you're about an hour and a half drive, if timed correctly, from LAX. So at the beginning of the episode, we were talking about Santa Barbara versus Montecito. And then when referencing UC Santa Barbara, the college is in Goleta. So Montecito, Goleta, Santa Barbara, it's all it's the same general area in the greater Santa Barbara County. But when you're driving from the Bay Area, you're going to hit Goleta first, then you're going to hit downtown Santa Barbara, and then you're going to hit Montecito. And we like to stay in downtown Santa Barbara, specifically the Mesa area, which is the community that is um, right next to downtown Santa Barbara on the ocean. And that is the sweet spot to vacation. Of
Okay.
course, if you're going to look at the university or you have a college age child, you might want to stay in Goleta. If you're a couple without children, you might want to stay in Montecito. But for this episode and this trip, we're going to talk about vacationing in downtown Santa Barbara in the Mesa area.
Okay. Oh, good to know. So for your trips, let's start with where you like to stay. Assuming it's different, if it's a week versus less versus much longer, where do you like to go?
Okay, perfect. So we've stayed at a few different hotels. So when it's a week or less, we've stayed at a few different hotels. And we've now found the one that I like the best. We've stayed at it a couple times, and I will continue to stay at this same hotel if it's a week or less trip. And that is the Hilton Santa Barbara Beachfront Resort. So this resort, it used to be called the DoubleTree. It is right next to State Street. State Street is kind of like the Rodeo Drive of Santa Barbara. It's the main strip in downtown Santa Barbara that has all the shops and restaurants. And this hotel is right next to it. So it's walking distance to that. It's across the street from the ocean, walking distance to the wharf, and it's just got phenomenal views. Now,
Mm.
when you look this up, if you're planning a Santa Barbara trip, don't let the bad reviews scare you. It does have bad Yelp reviews, and a lot of it,
Oh.
I know, which we were hesitant on booking it the first time a few years ago because of those reviews. And I'm here to say that those reviews didn't deter us from going back because we have perfected staying there, and n- anything that people spoke about being a poor experience for them, it didn't bother us. So a lot of the bad reviews are due to bad hotel food, which I agree. I wouldn't eat the food at this resort, but this resort is so close to a million amazing restaurants. I wouldn't want to
Oh.
eat the hotel food anyways, but it is typical like Hilton hotel food, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of
Kind of
course you're
gross.
not gonna get, like, the best food
No.
there. I mean, yeah, it's hotel
Yeah,
food.
it's
Got
hotel
it.
food. And
Okay.
then also it doesn't have five-star service. So there's a certain aspect of staying here where you're going to be self-sufficient, and that's fine. If we call for more pillows or more blankets, that's all taken care of. But just as far as somebody being on the property asking if you need assistance, kind of what you experience at the Ritz, that's not going to be here, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It is the perfect location, and they have an incredible suite that we love to get, and it's called the One King Ocean View Suite. And it has a patio that is probably about 600 square feet. So it's
Mhm.
massive for a hotel patio. And it is it is completely enclosed and facing the ocean. So if you
Oh.
have small children, you have this one bedroom suite. So it has a living room, a kitchenette, not a kitchen, and a one bedroom. And the living room has a pull out couch. And then you have this massive clay tile, very Mediterranean, Spanish kind of vibe with the hotel. Uh, the patio facing the ocean, and our girls can just like run around this patio and scooter, and the views are just breathtaking, and you get the sun setting there, and it's just so stunning, and the proximity to all the things you're going to want to do there is perfect. The other thing that we found that's just amazing with this hotel is they have a bike valet. So we love to
Oh.
bike in Santa Barbara, and we bring our own
Mhm.
bikes, but you can rent bikes as well. And as soon as you pull up, they will take your bikes and they valet them. So you're not juggling.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. So you're not juggling them in your hotel room. They take your bikes, and then when you are ready to leave, you just hop down to the bike valet and they have your bikes there. They store them and overnight. It's great.
So that actually speaks to this is a location where a lot of people like to go bike. Like
Yes.
this is a thing that people do in Santa Barbara is they bring bikes and
Yes.
they have that's great. That's really
Yes,
good to hear.
it is.
Okay.
And they have the hotel has bikes for rent as well. When I went with a girlfriend, we rented the bikes. We didn't bring our own. So they have all different types that you can rent if you don't want to bring your own bikes with you. Um,
Okay.
Yeah, so that's great. And then if you're familiar with Santa Barbara, just from seeing it on shows or movies, there's the famous Santa Barbara rainbow art installation. It's just this giant rainbow with an ocean view. That rainbow is right in front of this resort. So it's pretty iconic.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And so
That's
this
bringing back memories. Mhm.
so this resort is for me the perfect location for a short trip because it doesn't have a full kitchen. I think 3 or 4 nights are kind of the max that I would do at this location. It has a good
Okay.
pool, not an incredible pool, a good enough pool. As in that the pool is great, but they don't have incredible like pool service like you would find at a Ritz. um
Oh, that was gonna be my question. Is there any pool service?
There is, but it's,
Okay.
it's not it's the drinks are good, but it's not
Okay.
the typical food that I would order. I think my girls got french fries or things like that, but it's,
Okay.
yeah, and it's an incredibly large property. So that's the other piece I loved about it with small kids is, gosh, we could just get lost in the property, wandering around, looking at, the trees and the flowers and the ocean view from all the different corners, and so it's a really special place. But
That's cool.
yeah, like I was saying, with the service at the Ritz, so I think that the perfect short Santa Barbara trip is doing 3 or 4 nights here. So you're
Okay.
right downtown. You're getting to do everything that downtown has to offer. But then after staying there, you just head up north a little bit and do 3 or 4
Oh.
nights at the Ritz-Carlton.
Of course. We must do that.
Yes, good. So
Okay, that sounds good.
the Santa Barbara Ritz-Carlton is also known as the Bacara, and,
Okay.
it is one of my favorite resorts. It is not a biking location. So, it is north of, downtown Santa Barbara, and it's kind of in this hilly area on the ocean with a beautiful golf course. Potentially, if you're an adult biking with other adults, it would be, and you're like road bikers, that would be a good location for that. But as a family with small children, you wouldn't leave that resort and go biking. So you would be
Okay.
going to the Ritz Carlton for to experience the service and the beauty and everything that a Ritz Carlton has to offer. The best hotel service ever, in my opinion.
Mm, yes. The Ritz knows how to do it.
They do. So after being a little more self-sufficient downtown Santa Barbara at the Hilton, then you kind of switch over and do a few nights here. We're members of the Ritz-Carlton, so it's something to look into if you're going there frequently. It's nice. You get early check-in, upgrades. You get access to their club level. But the speaking to the location, it's about 20 minutes north of downtown Santa Barbara. So if you're leaving downtown, you're just going to head like straight back up towards the Bay Area. So for us, it's back on the way home.
Mhm.
And the Ritz Carlton Bacara, just like any Ritz Carlton, has the most incredible food. Their bistro restaurant has the incredible brunch I've ever had. Just fresh Mediterranean brunch. They have a poolside bar, best shrimp salad I've ever had that you can order at the
Oh,
pool.
yum. That sounds
Yeah.
good. On the beach too, so you just know
Oh,
it's fresh.
it's so fresh. It's so good. The property itself is just breathtaking. It's the most stunning Spanish style resort on the ocean. It's just incredible. So when we go there, we don't typically leave that resort. Like we've done our time downtown Santa Barbara. We've experienced everything there is to experience there. We've done our biking, and now we come to the Ritz for a couple nights and we just stay at the property and relax, have great food, go to the beach. They have a sand pit for little kids, which my girls love. It's in the pool area. They have golf carts, which can take you because it's a massive property. So it can take you from one end of the property to the other. We always stay in a 1 bedroom suite, ocean view. They have fireplaces on the patios. They also have 2-bedroom suite options, with a living room that has a pull-out couch, so that'd be a good
Mhm.
option for you guys.
Yeah.
And I always take a day for myself, or maybe a morning for myself here, and do the spa experience. Just an incredible spa there. Um, but yeah, so that is the perfect 1 week or less trip. A few nights downtown Santa Barbara at the Hilton, and then a few nights north a bit at the Ritz-Carlton Bacara.
Okay, that's great. And the reason to split those up, it probably has a lot to do with what you can do at each of those locations, at each of those resorts sounds very different.
Mhm.
Also, probably price differences, right? So maybe
Oh,
saving
sure.
more money if you're at the Hilton versus at the Ritz.
Right. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's a significant price difference. Also, with the Hilton, and with the Ritz, they offer kitchenettes, not a full kitchen. So staying anywhere longer than a few nights with kids without a full kitchen doesn't really make sense for my family. Like, we kind of are maxed out on a 1-bedroom suite after 3 or 4 nights with a kitchenette, because you kind of are craving more space and more flexibility. So splitting it up, even though you're moving into another 1-bedroom suite with a kitchenette, we're now at a resort that has room service, poolside service, um,
Mhm.
incredible food that you can get right there. And I think it kind of gives you two different Santa Barbara experiences.
So it sounds like there's a big price difference maybe between staying at the Hilton and the Ritz, which might be another good reason to sort of split the stay. Is that right,
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes, that's right. I did look up just kind of a random day in July. So for the 1-bedroom ocean view suite with the patio at the Hilton, it looks like it's roughly $900 a night. Whereas at the Ritz, for the same size room, ocean view, it's about double that. But I don't want these prices to deter anyone from booking a Santa Barbara trip. There are a ton of amazing hotels. So if the Hilton or the Ritz are not exactly what you're looking for, you can also look into hotels within the same proximity, because they'll offer the same opportunities to all the great activities and restaurants nearby.
That's a good point. And also, it makes a big difference what day you're looking at the Ritz,
Mhm.
if it's a really expensive day versus a not. And I saw a lot of variability throughout the month. So might be if you're flexible dates, you might be able to find some good prices
That's
for
right.
that hotel
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
right. Or if you're open to a standard room, we always really need that extra room when we stay. It just keeps everyone sane. But
Hmm.
I know if you're open to just a standard hotel room, there's a lot more better pricing opportunities there.
Okay, good to know. And now let's dive into how do you stay there if you want to stay longer term, more than a week? Where would you
Okay.
go then?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the staying in either of those hotels with just a kitchenette wouldn't work for us for more than 3 or 4 nights. So
Right.
when we love to go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a couple months sometimes, we always book an Airbnb. And so if you're not familiar with the neighborhoods, that could be a little confusing on where should you stay in an Airbnb. So the perfect neighborhood, if I was to move to Santa Barbara tomorrow with my family, the perfect neighborhood to stay in is the Mesa neighborhood. And that neighborhood is just north from downtown. So it is biking distance to downtown Santa Barbara. It is along the ocean, and it is a super family friendly neighborhood. You're going to see families biking, skateboarding, walking. You see kids out on their own playing. There's 3 parks along the ocean right in front of the Mesa neighborhood. There's,
Oh,
yeah, great
that
food,
sounds nice.
great
Mhm.
grocery stores. Lazy Acres is right in the Mesa neighborhood. It's my favorite grocery store there. So if we're going for a long term, we're going to look for an Airbnb in the Mesa neighborhood. And the closer to the ocean, the better for us.
Mhm.
There's not going to be ocean front Airbnb properties here, because there is parks along the ocean. So there's a street and there's parks and there's ocean, and the neighborhood is right on the other side of the street. And that's
Got
good,
it.
good enough for us.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds totally fine.
So for a long-term trip, we're going to book an Airbnb, and then we're also going to end that trip with a few nights at the Ritz.
Sounds like no trip is complete without a little bit of time at the Ritz, it sounds
That's
like.
correct. I mean, if you're there, you just can't pass up staying at such an incredible property. Sometimes we'll even just stay there for one night on the tail end before we get out of town, and that's enough. But it's just such an amazing property to stay at, and if you're right there, you got to do it.
Yes, yes. So when you stay longer term, what sort of things do you fill your time with? What do you do while you're there?
Oh, there's just so much to do. But for both trips, short time and long time, number one is the beach. So Santa Barbara beaches, they can have a variety of weather. It can be sunny and warm and beautiful and calm. It can also be cool and windy. But no matter the weather, my kids love the beach and we love the beach. So we're either in a sweatshirt and we're building sandcastles, or we're in a bathing suit and we're playing in the ocean, building
Mhm.
sandcastles. To the
Mhm.
beach. Next is bikes. So I spoke to that. We bring bikes. Now, I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and we bring two different bike options. We bring our bikes, my husband and my bikes, that have attachments for our girls. So I have a front seat on my handlebars for my 3-year-old, and my husband has a little seat that goes in between his legs that the 6-year-old can sit on. And we have those attachments so that we can bike long distances with them on our
Mhm.
bikes. We also
Mhm.
bring their bikes because we want them to also have times where they're biking on their own. We bring scooters. We skateboard. I roller
Mhm.
skate. um, so we bring all of those. So in Santa Barbara, there's about a 4-mile stretch from the top of the mesa at the Lazy Acres grocery store all the way down what's called Shoreline Drive, and it turns into West Cabrillo Drive, all the way to East Beach, which ends in Montecito. So along this 4-mile oceanfront stretch, there are 4 playgrounds, restaurants, bakeries, breweries, a wharf, a harbor, and
Oh,
that is what we do. We
okay.
bike, skateboard, scooter, walk up and down this 4-mile stretch and just enjoy the weather and have so much fun. There's
You said
all
roller skate or roller blade?
Oh, I do not rollerblade, Megan. I wouldn't be caught dead in those.
I do not roller skate. I
Oh,
fall
you
on my
don't?
butt.
Oh,
I
I'm
can
going to
only
teach
roller
you.
blade.
I'm going to Oh, well, I mean, I can rollerblade, but it's not
Yeah.
as cool.
Well, I gotta be cool.
No, my husband will skateboard, my daughters will scooter, and I will roller skate. Get a little roller girl action behind them.
Yeah.
um,
Oh.
but along that same path, on Sundays they have an art walk. So they have local vendors that are selling art. We have a vendor there that sells clay pots and pans and dishes. We have a bunch of those in our home that we've bought at different times there. It's kind of like a little farmer's market vibe. There's Stearns Wharf, which is a wharf that goes out into the ocean. It has great candy and ice cream shops. Um, as far as other things to do, not along this strip in Santa Barbara, there's the zoo, the children's zoo. We're from the Bay Area. The zoos here are really, really big. In Santa Barbara, they have a really sweet small zoo. My girls really love it. They also have an incredible children's museum called the Moxie. It's one of the best children's museums I've ever been to. And if you go all the way to the top of it, they have spyglasses that the children can look in all the way out to the ocean, which is really cool. We also love to feed the ducks. They have Alice Keck Park, which is close to Montecito, where you can just feed ducks. It's really fun. And I mentioned we bring our dog. So they have a dog beach. It's Arroyo Burro Beach, and you can go there um, if if you brought your dog, or if you're just a family who loves dogs, you can go there and play with dogs and see a ton of them. Another location that my children love in Santa Barbara is Kids World Playground. So, Kids World Playground is inland a bit, so it's away from the beach. If you're staying in the Mesa neighborhood or you're staying at the Hilton, you're going to want to drive there. But it is this phenomenal playground. It is all wood and it is massive, and it's called Kids World because they have different locations within the park that represent different areas of the world. And we can go
Oh,
there. It's yes, and just spend hours. It doesn't even feel like you're in Santa Barbara because you're so far from the beach. You're inland. You're in this big giant park. But that's another great thing if you're bringing small children to take them to. And then something I love to do for myself every time I'm in Santa Barbara is attend beach yoga classes. So down at East Beach, which is close to Montecito, they have nightly beach yoga, and it's such an amazing experience. I'll go by myself without my kids or my husband, and they give you headphones to wear. So you're listening to music and the instructor's voice in the headphones. And you bring a beach towel because yoga mats don't work as well on the sand. And there'll be anywhere, between 5 and 50 people in these classes on the ocean at sunset doing yoga.
wow. Oh, that sounds
Yeah,
like a blast.
it is a blast. It is so beautiful. And just like the energy and the feeling of like exercising
Oh,
on the ocean at sunset. It's by far my favorite thing that I do for myself on this vacation. It
I
even
love it.
surpasses the Ritz Spa.
Oh, I love that. I really want to do that. There's such a sense of vitality and like
Mhm.
exercising on or near the beach, like with that
Yes.
view and that relaxing. I don't know. It's like such a source of light. Like it's just, it revives you, you know? That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, and this vacation really is an active vacation. Like we are biking every day. We're running along the beach path and our kids are scootering. We are swimming in the ocean, swimming in the hotel pool, doing this type of yoga. Like this is an active, adventurous family vacation.
oh, that sounds like so much fun. Oh, I want to go. Can you sell me on the food now? Get to the
Oh,
food. Tell me
yes.
about all the wonderful food.
Santa Barbara, the food is incredible. It's like I said before, it's fresh, a lot of fish, which works well for our family. There's really three main locations for great food when you're in Santa Barbara. There is State Street, which is the main downtown strip. There are restaurants all along that street. Then there is the wharf, which is a wharf that goes out into the ocean. It has a bunch of different restaurants along there. And then there's also the harbor, which the harbor is similar to the wharf, I suppose, but there's a lot more fishing boats and there's some great restaurants on there as well. And then Santa Barbara does something really cool. They started this kind of back around COVID time, I think, to amp up the draw for visitors, and it's called the Funk Zone. So if you look up the Santa Barbara Funk Zone, it is
It's
a
FUNK.
that's
Funk.
correct.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
The
Okay.
the Funk
Just
Zone.
clarifying.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, okay.
It is the Funk Zone.
Okay.
It it is restaurants and breweries and wine bars and ice cream shops. They participate in this.
Oh,
And so you can follow a path within the downtown district, and it'll kind of give you a taste of Santa Barbara. And there will be live music. One time when we went, we rode our bikes through a few different stops within the Funk Zone, and there was a face painter at one of them for kids. There was a balloon artist, and then live bands. And so you can get a drink and an appetizer at a few different places. So that's a fun thing to look up. The vendors or the restaurants that are participating, they change a bit. So each time we go, it's a little bit different, and that's fun. They've also, like lots of towns, I suppose, post COVID, they have really increased their outdoor seating, which in Santa Barbara, that's just the way to go because the weather's mostly always beautiful. It's on the ocean. And now there's just these really beautiful built out patios for every single restaurant. So when we
oh,
go, we pretty much don't ever eat indoors. We are just always outside in the beautiful scenery.
I
So
love that.
some of our favorite restaurants are Shoreline Beach Cafe. This is a restaurant where your feet are in the sand. So you're on the ocean. It has great fish and great salads. I love it as a mom because we can be sitting at this nice table on the ocean and our kids eat and then they run onto the beach and they build a sandcastle and then they come back.
Yes.
And that's just a great experience. We love Lucky Penny. It's a great pizza parlor. We love On the Alley, which is a really cute little fish restaurant on the harbor. We love McConnell's Ice Cream, which is this famous ice cream shop in Santa Barbara. It's just really delicious. We also love to go to the farmers market. That is every Saturday. So it's different than the art walk on Sundays, which is along the ocean and does have some farmer market type of vendors there. But the Saturday farmers market is inland. So it's away from the ocean and it's more of a traditional farmers market. And it's within the center of downtown, kind of around where the missions are. Um, and so that's really fun. Sometimes when we're staying for a long time, we'll collect our groceries there for the week, and they have really great vendors.
What are the missions?
Oh, okay. So Santa Barbara is known for having this beautiful mission, and the missions were originally built. They're historic buildings. They're beautiful. They're Spanish style, so they were built in the 1700s, but now they operate as nonprofits and museums, and they're just these really beautiful Spanish style buildings, and they're
Oh,
old. So the farmers market is around one of these mission properties, and it is really fun because we'll be shopping, but also my kids will be playing in them, and it's just like a great topic of conversation and just this really historical building. They're
oh,
really
cool.
cool. Yeah, they're really cool. That farmers market is amazing. So I recommend checking that out. And then also Santa Barbara has a public market. So this is, if you're familiar with San Francisco, is similar to like the Ferry Building in San Francisco, where it's
Oh,
an
yeah.
indoor market, which it has a variety of vendors, and they have some really great restaurants within there. I mean, you could go and get sushi or get pizza or Mexican, and they've got a great ice cream place and a brewery. And it's fun because you could go and each person in your family could get something at a different location. It all kind of combines in the middle.
Oh, that's convenient. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
it's really
Okay.
nice. And then I've mentioned we lean towards pescatarian, and I really love vegan food. My favorite vegan restaurant ever to exist is in Santa Barbara. It's in the Mesa neighborhood, and it's called Verde. And it is so good. My husband is not vegan, but he really likes this restaurant as well. So I think that's a good sign for a good vegan restaurant. And my
Definitely.
kids love it too. They do like a vegan quesadilla that's made with cashew cheese, and my girls both love it.
Mm.
They do green smoothies, and that's just amazing. And then I think I mentioned my favorite grocery store is Lazy Acres. They have one in the Mesa neighborhood. And the reason I love this grocery store is they have the best green juice, like fresh pressed green juice. It's pressed upon order. It's the best I've ever had. It's just incredible.
Oh, that sounds good. I
It's
don't
so
drink
good.
green juice, but I would try. That sounds good.
I'm gonna get you to
Um,
start.
yeah, I know. It'd probably be good for me.
Uh,
Um, Weather-wise, do you deal with the same sort of June gloom weather patterns that we have up here in Northern California?
yes, we do. So Santa Barbara will have like May gray and June gloom, um, but it's hit or miss. So, in
Okay.
my opinion, Santa Barbara's always great. We've gone in January and we've had to buy flip flops and shorts because we didn't bring them. And then
Wow.
I know, and then we've gone in June and we've worn sweatshirts. So, I think pack for beach weather, which in general, California beach weather can be warm or it can be cool. Even within one trip, it can vary. So, but no
Yeah.
matter what the weather, it's phenomenal and it's a great place to visit. And
Oh,
then
how fun.
I would say with regard to when you're thinking about visiting, I the only time I would avoid is the end of August because Santa Barbara has UC Santa Barbara there. That is when college kids are moving back, and it does get really busy and really overrun with families moving their kids in, and the hotel prices skyrocket, and it's hard to get reservations for restaurants. So I would
Mm-hmm.
avoid that time, but any other time I think is great to visit.
Okay. Yeah, good to know. I come from a college town, so I know what that looks like. It's always a pain that one week to like just get downtown and do anything. So good advice. Just stay away maybe at the end of August.
And you know what? I just
Okay.
remembered one more thing that my girls are so looking forward to when we go in a couple of weeks. And I was thinking, I can't forget to mention this, and that's mango on a stick. So here in the Bay Area, we have fruit vendors who sell fruit on the corners, like usually cherries, and they sell whole fruit or chopped fruit. But in Santa Barbara, they do mango on a stick. So you can order, they cut a whole mango to look like a flower and it's on a stick. And
Oh.
it's like a giant lollipop or an ice cream. And my kids love these. We get one a day.
Ah.
And they're along the ocean path, the shoreline that I mentioned. And so we'll take scooter or biking breaks and get mango on a stick. We've even been on the way to the zoo and we'll just pull over and roll down their window and get two of them. They're a lot of fun. And my girls talk about them nonstop. It's like the highlight of a Santa Barbara treat for them.
Oh, that sounds good. How unique. That's super cool.
It is.
Um,
And there's one other place I was going to mention is the I posted a photo on my personal Instagram and a lot of people ask me about this place. It's Alessia's Cafe and they do a formal tea time similar to what you'd experience in London.
oh.
And it's downtown as well and it's so sweet if you have little girls that are interested in fancy things. I have taken my girls there twice and they do a full tea service with beautiful pastries and tea and it's just a really decorated really beautifully. So that's another great place to try with kids.
Oh, that sounds so fun. My kids have actually asked to go to a tea service, and
Oh.
I tease them and say I'm going to put them in etiquette school instead, because there's these tea services that you can join, and they teach you etiquette along the way. And my kids are like, no, but yeah, that sounds like fun. I'm sure that the kids would love to do that. Yay! Well, I want to plan a trip now. Like this has been
Yes.
so helpful to hear all about this, and I feel like I have a flavor now of what the trip might look like with all the
Mhm.
activities. So that's exciting. Yay! Do you have
There's
any like last tips you want to provide or last pieces of advice?
Yeah, I think I'm so excited for you to get to go back and experience it. There's so much that Santa Barbara has to offer. One kind of tip that I've implemented since I've had kids and anywhere that we travel, but Santa Barbara has been especially beneficial, is I joined the Facebook moms group for that town. So I'm on
Oh.
like the Santa Barbara Facebook moms group. I'm also on the Maui Facebook moms group. But anywhere that you that you are going to travel frequently, it's nice to see all the tips and tricks that local moms share, or they'll share like events that are happening, or free beach plays for kids. We were able to see like a little carnival show on the beach because I saw it was posted on the moms group last time we were there.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
cute.
that's just like a fun little tip when traveling. And the Santa Barbara Moms group is really active, so you'll get lots of information if you're traveling there with children.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good points. Great. Okay. Well, what are our three takeaways? What are the three things you think that we should remember when planning a Santa Barbara trip?
Well, I think that, in my opinion, Santa Barbara is the perfect combination of a luxury and adventurous family vacation spot. I think it is better with a bit of planning and research, or just listen to this episode. And I know a lot of people like us are always looking for vacation so that they can bring their dog along with them. And obviously, that's not an option when traveling to Hawaii. But Santa Barbara, if you are close enough to drive, is a great vacation to bring your dog with you. It's really special.
Oh, yes, yes. I know a lot of people like to travel with their dogs. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was so fun. I feel like I got to escape with you for a good hour to go to the beach in my mind, and now I want to go for real. So
We're going to
thank
have to
you.
plan something together.
Yes. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Please rate, like, and subscribe, and catch us on Instagram at Platinum Perspective Podcast. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.